So one of our biggest market fears has finally happened. Bitcoin plunged well below 22K, even below 20K, and Ethereum also followed. Yeah, it's been pretty frustrating. But that's the end of the pity party here, because even under the most difficult, the most frustrating circumstances, there are always some methods out there and some information that can be used to understand where we stand and what our next steps should be in order to preserve the short-term gains that we made in these last couple of months. Reject victim mentality in all its forms. Be proactive. Try to make the best out of any situation. That is exactly what we're going to be doing in today's video. Welcome to the channel. My name is Matty and this is Altcoin Buzz. We are a crypto investment research company. And genuinely, we're always going to wish you the very best of luck when you choose to invest in this crypto space. But like other investment spaces, it carries a lot of corresponding risk. So consider this video to be informative in nature, but not official financial or investment advice. Okay, so if you've been following the financial news, whether directly from a crypto perspective or even from an adjacent perspective, the macro news right now really centers around a lot of what the Federal Reserve in the US has been announcing, especially announcements and press releases coming out of Jerome Powell specifically. Mr. Powell's 8-minute Jackson Hole speech covered inflation measures and interest rates, and many would argue that that's been priced into the market. And this is something that we've already covered. Check out our recent videos if you're unfamiliar with these developments and their impact on the crypto space. But with that being said, what's the positive here? What's new and what's good? So there's this related bit of macro news that's been going around. President Biden has signed a debt relief order that's going to eliminate up to $10,000 in student loan balances. I believe up to $20,000 if you're involved in the Pell program. Now, whether or not you agree with that politically, that is a separate issue. This is going to alleviate some of the debt burdens that people are feeling, those with prohibitive student debts. And so many have widely accepted this as positive news, especially for crypto. Let's take a look at why. Most of the people interested in crypto, and many Americans, of course, are a lot younger. Take a look at this age group here, the 24 to 34 age group. That represents 35%, at least in the US, when we're accounting for cryptocurrency owners in 2022. And so the idea here, in theory, is that young people will have more money with this upcoming student loan debt relief, and therefore young people will buy more crypto when they have more money, more expendable income. But actually, we're going to have to say that that's a false narrative, because while it is admittedly helping to relieve some financial tensions, it's not particularly accurate as a narrative for two main reasons. Okay, for starters, reason number one, it's not actually $10,000 more for them with which they can buy cryptocurrency. It's more like a loan relief. Do they really have $10,000 more? No. Do they have more cash in hand? No. And does their payment even drop? No. But they're going to be able to save a little bit more eventually. However, that's going to come with time. It's not going to be immediate. And so even with this debt relief, we cannot expect an immediate impact on the cryptocurrency market. It's really psychological more than anything. There are no immediate tangible results that we can realistically expect. Reason number two, students may have to declare the relief as income. So it's possible both at the federal and state level that this is taxable income for these young Americans. So if that does happen, then students would actually have less money to invest, not more. And so for us, this story is only loosely positive for its psychological value, but doesn't really represent a strong reason that's going to get people to either buy or sell. Okay, let's now discuss another major story that's dominating the headlines, Ethereum and its upcoming merge. A lot of people are wondering whether they should buy the rumor and sell the news kind of thing, sell perhaps in anticipation of the upcoming merge. And we at Altcoin Buzz believe that the hype is already built into the merge. So that begs the question, what should be your long or short-term strategy to best protect your gains? We're going to get into that in just a second, but let's first see what is the merge price reality. Well, it would seem that those looking to build a bigger position in ETH or perhaps make a bet on a chain split, it seems that they've already done so because the merge is supposed to happen really in just a couple of weeks from now. And as one of Dogecoin's founders said, the merge reality is that it's a bunch of trade-offs of some positives and some neutral or negatives. But candidly, as a market event, we believe many will sell the news. It's just part of that famous trading phrase that I used earlier, buy the rumors, sell the news. And we think there's going to be selling pressure on ETH after the merge, and then probably subsequently as well when the reality of the new solutions and potentially problems of ETH 2.0 come up. Okay, and another big macro variable that we're analyzing today, the 137,000 Bitcoin sell pressure that seems to have been delayed. So here's the breakdown. Mt. Gox is 137,000 Bitcoin, which we talked about in last week's on-chain video. Check it out. It's definitely creating some overhang on the Bitcoin market. There's some selling pressure of this new supply hitting the market. That's undeniable. But now a couple of things have happened. First of all, the sale is delayed. Second of all, we don't know the structure of the sale. And third, sentiment is continuing to decline, unfortunately. So while it is a positive that the selling pressure has been delayed, it's still there. And more importantly, we still don't know the structure of the sale of these coins. Are they going to come out in tranches or all at once? That makes a big difference, and it's all still a mystery. And how many of those old forced hodlers will actually sell? Some definitely will, as for sure they got huge gains and it's money they thought they'd never see again, but some will probably continue to hold even for the long term. And we can definitely see one scenario where the sell pressure is overblown, and we can see another where the liquidity problem in the market, which is still the main problem, only gets worse if there's a flood of Bitcoin hitting the market. So look, we're not 100% convinced that this is all sell-related sentiment, but we do advise that you not enter new positions with a lot of confidence unless, of course, you're buying for the long term. And finally, lack of destruction equals lack of activity. So when you sell a Bitcoin to someone else, it's like creating a new coin. Someone owned that coin for X number of days, and now they've sold it to you, and you've owned it for 1 day. So X minus 1 is coin days destroyed. It's a good measure of how many coins are changing hands, and thus a measure of volatility. And volatility right now is quite low. Not a lot of coins are changing hands. Now, that could be a sign that we're at a capitulation with all potential sellers having sold, but the low volatility also means a lower bottom could be on the way. And so the market is subject to big short-term swings really in either direction, at least potentially. Again, thinking long-term, it's a place to buy. Short-term, the signals are too muddy. They're also too confusing and too contradictory to signal a clear direction. All right, so we covered a few different topics today, but what are the major takeaways? And more importantly, what should you do now? Well, for US student loan debt relief, that's bullish psychologically, but not beneficial in a real functional way. So follow through is low to non-existent. The merge, that's bearish for Ethereum. The Mt. Gox delay, that's bearish, but with some unknown elements, like for example, how many will come onto the market, how many Bitcoin, and how fast. Is it going to be all at once? Is it going to be in tranches? We don't know. Then coin days destroyed, that's neutral to bullish, as we could be close to capitulation. But again, signals are muddy, so we're just not sure. But when we say we're not sure, that only applies to the very short term, because for the medium to long term, we are always bullish. We are perpetual bulls for long-term cryptocurrency. And when it comes to the long term, we're going to keep doing what we've been doing, which is DCAing, dollar cost averaging. So again, for the short term, we're going to be careful and take profits and limit losses where we can find them, and strictly avoid these 3 things to help us take those profits before they become losses. So not using leverage, that's number 1. Number 2, using stop losses effectively, including trailing stop losses. And number 3, trading with sound money management so that we're not risking too much on any one trade. Following these techniques is the best way to mitigate risk in your portfolio, and it will live, by the way, to fight and to see another day. And of course, to get some great trade signals and direct contact with our awesome research team, you can join Altcoin Buzz. Access plans start at only $99 per month. Give it a try today. Check out the link in our description below. The waters out there are pretty choppy. So once again, best of luck if you do choose to invest, but never official financial or investment advice. Guys, if you're still watching this video, thanks, kudos, good job. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications. Check out these other couple of videos, related stuff, on-chain analysis, but also deep dives into particular projects. And of course, TA, that's technical analysis, and price predictions. Those other videos should be popping up to my left, to my right. Stay safe out there, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. And as always, we do hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.